I really wanted to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 and stuff like that because we just recently had the Switch 2 Direct, and they showed off a lot of games and a lot of cool stuff. But therein kind of lies a bit of the problem. Basically, the problem that we've kind of faced with is the pricing for games and stuff like that. And I don't know if it'll affect other parts of the world, because it seems like Europe is quite heavily affected by the increase of prices and things like that. So just to give you a bit of a perspective, the Nintendo Switch 2 is launching at basically on the 6th of May 2025 and is going to be not 6th of May, 5th of June. I keep forgetting like the dates and stuff because this is the US thing, the US website. So 5th of June 2025, that's when the Switch 2 is launching, and basically the system is going to cost $450 US, and if you get it bundled with Mario Kart World, it's $500 US. Now, this is a substantial price increase from the, I think it was $299, so $300 basically. And honestly, like in my neck of the woods, if I look at the pre-orders, like, so I'm going to go to like JB Hi-Fi as an example. Basically, the console is going to cost $800 in my local currency. And to be honest, like if I, take the 450 USD and translate over to my local currency, it's about 750. So, 775, I should say. So $25 higher than people who are going to be paying in the US. Not the biggest deal in the world. It's like $10 to them basically. So not the worst thing in the world, but still the increase from 300 to 450 is just far higher than I think a lot of people would have expected. A lot of people would think, okay, a good amount of people I should say, will feel like that the pricing is kind of in line, but for myself personally, I would have much rather it remained around the sort of 350 USD price point rather than go all the way up to 450. 400 even, that kind of seemed like a bit of a push in my eyes anyways. But it's less about the Switch pricing and more about the pricing for their games. So, Donkey Kong Bonanza is... no thanks, I'm good. Dropping on the 17th of July 2025. This game... oh, okay, I thought it was actually going to say it here on the website. Oh crap, I just scroll all the way down. Yep. So basically, the game is going to cost 70 USD, which is like, okay, that seems normal enough. Though I don't think Nintendo games have ever seemingly been worth the 70 USD until you look at, say, something like Zelda. But even like, Zelda Breath of the Wild cost 60 USD in its original release, and the only Switch game after everyone put their pricing to 70 USD, the only Switch game that I guess the Switch game that started the pricing trend towards 70 USD was Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And some might say that that's worth it. But the problem is that if one starts charging at $70 like they did with the start of the Xbox and PS5 generation, other people are going to start joining, and it's just that when it comes to the 70 USD pricing, that is something that Nintendo has kind of been late to the party for. Mario Kart World, on the other hand, is offensively bad and is starting a new trend. Well, at least I hope. I hope for the love of God it doesn't start a new trend. But basically, Mario Kart World... actually, I shouldn't even be hiding this. Like, everyone kind of already knows. This game is selling at 80 USD on the Nintendo store, but they're treating it as MSRP. They're not treating it as... they're treating it as MSRP rather than... what's it called? Rather than saying, this is what the price of the game is going to be. Because games that cost 60 USD in my local currency is about 120. Even though that seems absurdly expensive, because it usually is. Games that cost 70 USD cost 135 in my local currency. 80 USD would be a lot higher. And of course, the physical copy of Mario Kart World is going for $90 So I was like looking at, right, okay, what is the pricing of Switch 2 games in my local currency? So I'm going to use Mario Kart World purely for this result. So like I said, 60 USD is for some reason 120 for us for some reason. 70 USD is 135 for my region. So if we look at 80 USD, so it's currently priced at $124, which actually is cheaper than how much $70 games go for, but slightly more expensive by like $5. So it's almost like as if we're only being charged 60 USD rather than like 90 USD for the physical copy for Mario Kart World. So at least if nothing else, the prices for the games are decent. Like, they're not as absurdly expensive as I thought they might be. But of course, then we also have the games that are coming to Switch that already have released. So, Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Party Jamboree plus Jamboree TV, and then Forgotten Land plus Starcross World. That being said, however, you can only make use of the upgrade packs through the digital upgrade that they give you. So buying a physical copy of a Switch 2 game probably doesn't make sense, and you're better off buying the physical copy of a Switch 1 game in the hopes of getting the upgraded digital copy of the Switch 2 title. But I'm not exaggerating, but like I'm thinking that's how it works. Again, that particular aspect was never explained, because if you get a digital Switch 1 game, you'll be able to get the digital Switch 2 game at a slight price in like a bit of an upgrade pack. But keeping in mind that, like, while I say that like Mario Kart World being at, you know, sold at 80/90 USD is an insane price to have, it's worth keeping in mind that Mario Kart, not even Mario Kart, but like Nintendo games don't put their they do not put their games on sale. If they do, it'll be like 10 USD less. So you'll have a discount of 80 USD to go down to like 70 for like a little bit, and then it'll go back up to 80 again. But now you might be thinking, okay, don't even get Mario Kart World, just buy the bundle. Buy the Switch and the Mario Kart bundle, which will set you back $500 US. See, the thing is that because the $80 price is out there, I feel like other companies are going to start charging that amount, keeping in mind that this is MSRP we're talking about. So that might not necessarily be the case. Maybe other companies are going to be like, oh, the MSRP for this is something else, but, you know, stores charge you less, for example. I don't know, like, this could go a number of different ways. But yeah, in any case, so basically, I feel like this is 100% partly a marketing ploy at the same time. So you might be thinking, okay, how on earth is this a marketing ploy? Basically, the idea is that Nintendo is trying to make Mario Kart World and the game so absurdly more expensive that they're funneling you to buy the bundle. And if more people buy the bundle, then Nintendo can tout high numbers of Mario Kart World being sold and high numbers of Nintendo Switch 2s being sold, and effectively saying, look at how insanely high the attach rate is. We've sold so many copies of all of these games, of all of these consoles. All of this is out in the wild for people to, because like once you bought the Switch 2, you are in the ecosystem, and from that point you would have no problem buying more games for your console that you own, that you spent that much money on. Basically, that's kind of what we're looking at. I think it's a way for Nintendo to actually bump up their numbers, but also, I'm also wondering what kind of ripple effect the announcement of these prices are going to cause. 80 USD for a digital game, 90 USD for a physical game. And I love how they put 3 asterisks at the end of the 80 MSRP, whereas there's only 1 asterisk for the Bonanza one. So, what is the asterisk here? Oh, it doesn't actually say. But the one for Mario Kart here is just for a little bit further down. Manufacturer suggested retail price. Actual price may vary. I'm like sitting there thinking to myself, yeah? I mean, I would assume so. The thing is that Nintendo is going to be the last bastion of physical media, and if they're charging an absurd amount for the physical media, then I don't know if they're trying to finish off physical media as it is. Already, stuff is happening around the world that is causing physical media to go up in price substantially and significantly. The fact that I won't be able to get more physical copies of games, like I just recently got, well, I haven't received it in the mail, it's only just been sent by PlayAsia, but a copy of Dead or Alive Extreme. What is it called? I can't remember the full name. It's like Venus Vacation, Dead or Alive Extreme something. Prism. Yeah, Prism. There we go. I actually remembered the name for once. Yeah, basically. So yeah, as much as I would have liked to have talked about the positives of kind of what we saw, the thing is that I'm personally going to be waiting for when the Switch 2 becomes something that can be emulated, because most likely I'm probably going to be emulating the games and stuff as I do with Switch games at the moment, even though I do own a Switch, because games on the Steam Deck do run a lot better. And of course I'm probably going to be getting an OLED Steam Deck and then giving my little brother my LED Steam Deck, but regardless, like, that's probably neither here nor there. Yeah, and while it's cool to see stuff like the grinding across walls and the 24-player races and stuff, people are gonna say that, you know, $60 back in 2005 is $100 now. That really doesn't matter, the actual value that is inherently there, because you had to do digging to do that. This is effectively just not a good look, because if you normalize a single number as a price point for games and you keep that around for 2 generations at bare minimum, people are going to think that is what this should cost. And if you increase the price at all, even if inflation and value of other things go up in price, but the price of games don't go up, it doesn't change the fact that when the price of games do finally go up, that it is a bad look, that people are going to bash on the company. But the thing is that as a single company does it and multiple companies do it, there's nothing stopping them from doing it. That's the thing. They could keep doing this over and over again. We are powerless to stop them because we are the old men staring at the clouds with our fist up in the air, you know? That's all we are at the end of the day. But yeah, so whatever happens, happens, and if anything else changes beyond that point, it's largely because everything is out of our power to do that, or to do anything about that. But that's kind of a bit of a negative note to kind of end on. So I guess positivity. I got nothing, to be honest. Maybe I'll just go and play on my Steam Deck. Like, I'll play a Switch game on my Steam Deck or something. I got Super Mario Party Jamboree on there, so maybe I'll just give that a shot. But yeah, with all that being said though, let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 500 subs by the end of the year. With all that being said, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.